The first time I met Dr. Raymond Hall, I was late. Rain was coming down in slanted sheets, and my breath fogged up the glass door to the clinic. Inside, the waiting room was empty, no receptionist, no ticking clock, just the low hum of fluorescent lights. I half expected him to scold me for being 20 minutes late, but he didn't. Dr. Hall stood in the hallway, waiting. He smiled gently, clipboard in hand, and gestured toward the last door at the end. "Come in. You're right on time," he said. His voice was soft. Too soft, like velvet muffling a scream. The office itself was a minimalist leather chair, a wooden desk, one window with blinds drawn halfway. He never turned the overhead light on. Just a small lamp between us, casting long shadows across the walls. But I didn't mind. I'd come for help, and he listened better than anyone ever had. He never interrupted. He didn't take notes. He just watched me, nodding slowly, his dark eyes never blinking quite enough. By the third session, I noticed he always wore the same clothes. Dark slacks, gray sweater, no coat despite the snow outside. I joked once that he must have a closet full of identical outfits. He didn't laugh, just smiled, wider than before, and said, "Some things never change." It was odd, sure, but therapists are supposed to be a little quirky, right? Still, something about the room felt off. The temperature was always cold, no matter how warm it was outside. And when I asked the receptionist about Dr. Hale's availability one day, she blinked, confused. "Doctor who?" she asked. I thought it was a joke. I thought I'd misheard, but it would stick with me like a splinter behind the eye. By the fifth session, I began dreading my appointments, not out of fear, exactly, but a growing sense of wrongness I couldn't name. I'd leave feeling drained, like I'd just woken from a dream I couldn't remember but knew was important. My thoughts felt scrambled afterward. One night, I even found myself driving home on a road I didn't recognize, with no memory of how I got there. My phone showed no calls, no texts. Just a photo in my camera roll I couldn't explain me, sitting on Dr. Hale's couch, staring dead-eyed at the wall. I hadn't taken it. I don't even remember having my phone out. I asked him about it the next day. He didn't blink, didn't smile, just tilted his head slightly and said, "Memory is tricky. We only remember what we're allowed to." Then he resumed the session, shifting the topic effortlessly, like nothing had happened. I didn't push. I should have pushed. Session 7 was when I decided to record the audio, just to prove I wasn't going insane. I set my phone to record before stepping into the office, kept it face down in my lap. The session felt normal, eerily so Dr. Hale's voice, calm and hypnotic as always. But when I played the recording back that night, the first half was silent, no background noise, no questions, just dead air. Then at precisely the 20-minute mark, I heard something that froze my blood. It was a voice, not mine, not his, whispering directly into the mic. 4 words, barely audible over a low static hiss. "Stop looking for him." I dropped the phone. My hands were shaking, my chest tight. I tried to sleep that night, but couldn't. I wasn't just unsettled, I was scared. The 8th session was a blank space in my mind. I woke up the next morning fully dressed, keys in my pocket, shoes muddy. My calendar showed a past appointment at 6 p.m. the night before, but I had no memory of it, none. I didn't even remember leaving my house. The strangest part? There was a new voicemail on my phone, no number, just static for 10 seconds, followed by the unmistakable sound of a door creaking shut, then nothing. I called the clinic, trying to make sense of it. A young woman answered, sounding uncertain. When I asked for Dr. Hawley, there was a pause. "Sir, I'm not sure who that is. We don't have a Dr. Hawley on staff." "We haven't for years." My stomach dropped. I asked to speak with the office manager. After a long silence, a different woman came on the line and confirmed it. There is no record of a therapist by that name here. Are you sure you're calling the right place? I was sure. I had the address, the session times, even a billing statement, but oddly, it didn't list a provider name. Just consultation room 6 to 1 hour. I drove there that afternoon. The waiting room looked the same, beige walls, cheap carpet, but room 6 was locked. I knocked. No answer. When I asked the receptionist about the room, she looked puzzled. We haven't used that one in months. Leak in the ceiling. It's empty. But I had sat in that room, spoken to him. I knew that door. I waited until she turned her back and walked toward it. The knob turned easily. No resistance. The room inside was completely bare, no chair, no lamp, no desk. Just a single clipboard sitting on the floor. The clipboard had no paper. Just an old, cracked leather cover and a faint smell, something metallic like rust. Or blood. I took it home. It felt wrong to leave it there, and yet even holding it made my skin crawl. That night, I opened it again, and tucked between the lining was a folded, yellowed sheet. A list of names, dozens of them. Most with dates beside them, each date followed by a single word. Resolved. I searched 3 of the names at random. Everyone led to an obituary. Different cities, different causes, missing, suicide, natural causes, but all within weeks of the final session date listed. I found a forum post from 5 years ago mentioning Dr. Raymond Hall, a woman described a therapist who never blinked, who never aged, who talked like he was remembering the future. Her post ended abruptly. No follow-ups. No account history after that. Desperate, I posted a thread myself, asking if anyone had ever heard of him. I didn't expect a reply. But one came within minutes. Delete this. He watches the questions. Another message followed from a different user. Look behind your eyes. I slammed the laptop shut. I felt watched. Not in the room. Inside me. A pull, a presence I couldn't explain. That night, I stood in the bathroom staring into the mirror, searching my own pupils for something that didn't belong. For a moment, less than a second, I swear I saw his reflection instead of mine. Same gray sweater, same expressionless stare. I tore the mirror off the wall. The next morning, I got an email. No sender, no subject. Just a photo, me, asleep in bed, Dr. Howell standing over me, smiling. I told myself I needed closure. Or maybe I just needed to prove to myself that I wasn't losing my mind. I returned to the clinic one final time, just before closing. The receptionist was gone, the lights dim, the air smelled stale like an old attic. The hallway leading to room 6 was darker than I remembered, longer too, like it stretched deeper than physics should allow. The door was open. Inside, the room was as I'd last seen it, bare walls, no furniture. But he was there, Dr. Heil, sitting calmly on the floor, legs crossed, clipboard in hand, as if he'd been waiting. His face was too still, like it wasn't made to move. And his eyes, they weren't eyes at all now. Just 2 voids pulling light inward as if they knew me, as if they owned me. I tried to speak, to ask what he was, but my throat wouldn't move. He raised a finger, gently, like shushing a child. You were never supposed to remember the 8th session, he whispered. Behind him, the wall began to ripple like water. Faces formed and the paint blurred, screaming, mouths open in silent panic. I saw myself among them, a version of me with hollow eyes reaching out. You opened the door too far, he said. Now you can't leave. I turned to run, but the hallway was gone. Only darkness. I screamed but heard nothing. No echo, no air, then light. I woke up in my own bed, morning sun, birds outside. My phone beside me, showing no missed calls, no messages. It was like none of it happened. But the mirror, the one I had shattered, it was whole again. And in its reflection behind me, he was smiling.